Could this German beer be the best beer in the world? Hello and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to my Best Beer in the World series. A series in which I review beers that, well, I already know I really like, love and adore. Typically when I'm doing a beer review, it's experiencing that beer for the first time, trying to pick it apart and tell you whether I think it's any good or not, depending on its merits. This is a completely different thing. I am already biased and think this is one of the very best beers in the world, and my job today is to try and convince you of the same. It really is a definitive. German lager is just a constant in the enjoyment of brilliant beers, at least it is for me. This one is from a lesser known German brewery in the UK anyway. Brewery Tegernsee or Tegernsee. They have a lot of inconsistencies in how the name for this brewery is written. On the top here it says Tegernsee beer. I know that the town it comes from is called Tegernsee, and anyway, yes, it is what it is. Where did I first find this? Well, picture this. A nice hot summer's day, incidentally exactly like today is in the UK, and I was in the beer garden of my favourite pub in Nottingham, which is the Herbert Kilpin. I've mentioned it a few times before. They do specialise in imported European beer, and they have a couple of taps that rotate frequently, particularly a lager tap, and this time it was from someone called Tegernsee. I've never heard of it, knew nothing about it, and then, well, I had one. And then another one, and I think another one. And I think the plan was to go to a few different places that day, and, well, I just spent the whole day drinking this because it was just something to behold. I'll wait until we get into the liquid itself to tell you more about it. But yes, that is how my love with this started. The label, distinctly Bavarian with the flag there in the background. Very trad, old school German beer bottle. I assume it's a picture of the town by the look of it on the front of it. The town of Tegernsee, and yeah, it is a beautiful thing. This comes in a 500ml bottle. It's 4.8%, and, well, it's a Helles. It should be a bright lager, a bright beer. So let's get pouring. Also, I picked this up from Beer Merchants, the online shop, and don't know if it's still going to be on by the time this comes out, but if you bought 6 Tegernsee products, you also got a free glass, which I'm a sucker for some decent glassware, so we'll be using that to pour it into. Not sponsored, I just really like that shop and glasses. Can I do the pour on this justice? Let's try and get a nice foamy German lager without it going too far. I think we've gone too far, but never mind. It still looks very nice indeed. Now then, we'll top it up in a moment because I did get a little bit heavy on the pour, but if you can just look past the nice artwork on the glass there, the beer itself, it's a proper Helles. It's truly bright. Because of the blue lights and probably my blue shirt today, it is giving off a bit of a greeny hue in the glass, at least from my perspective. Not sure if that's coming through on camera or not, but it's a properly bright, pale, straw-coloured lager, this one. Huge, foamy white head, and yeah, just, well, it looks the German business. The clarity is unreal. I don't know if you can see me through it. You probably can. There's not many beers that I can hold up to the camera like that and talk to you through the beer. That's how good the clarity is on this. Now, it's a modern age. We know that cloudy beer isn't a bad thing, but when it comes to that hyper refreshing, it's the radical puritanism of German beer, and I say that in the nicest way possible. I love the fact that they are so, or can be so, just meticulous with the rules, the German purity standard. It's not a law anymore, but they still abide to it, and, well, yeah, that is what I want to see from that approach to beer, from that style of beer. Aroma wise, it is immediately recognizable as a few different things. Nice big sweet malt, distinct German lager malt. It's biscuity cum cakey, very doughy. It's very sweet, very, what's the word, comforting, I think is what I'm trying to say. Very comforting indeed. But on top of that, there is some hop sharpness to it. It reminds me a bit of a Saaz hop. It's a little different, but you know, it's reminding me of something like a Czech Pilsner. And yeah, it's got a very refreshing aroma indeed. There's not much more to it, but it's just, you know, nice, kind of just bready, come slightly spring fresh meadows. It's everything I like in German beer, basically. So let's give it a go. Cheers. Never fails. Never fails to put a smile on my face. It's just brilliant. I don't know. I do need to try and argue this properly, but that first sip, give me a moment. Right, I'm just going to top this up and then try again to give you a real explanation, because it's everything and I need to make sure I include everything in my justification for why this may just be one of the best, if not the best beer in the world. So it starts off with the tactile sensation, the physicality of the beer. I don't know how they do it, but the foam is big, thick, rich, almost decadent. But then the liquid is, I'm not going to go as far as to say thin, but generally just refreshing, I think is what I'm going to say there. It doesn't, the head on it feels much bigger, much more amped up than the liquid itself, and it creates this nice contrast, and you feel like you're getting something of quality, but without having to sacrifice just the refreshing nature of a run-of-the-mill lager. It's definitely not run-of-the-mill, you know what I mean? Sometimes people put out big lagers. The Germans in particular will come up with something they don't call a lager, but it's basically a lager, but is 7% and is very thick, and it's not quite what you want on a hot summer's day. Well, this, you get that decadence, but with all of the just refreshment that you want, really, from it. Then, I'm already waffling too much. The carbonation, for me, is perfection. It is not a fizzy beer. It's not a heavily carbonated beer. If I hold this up to you now, there's no percolator thingy in this glass, and you can see my face again. It's just riding the waves of the bubbles. When you take a sip, you go, oh, this isn't fizzy lager as I know it. It's got enough carbonation to spritz the flavours all around your mouth, and as you're going to learn in a minute, it's definitely not bereft of flavour, but it's not gassy. It's not overloading. It's just, well, it's just really damn nice and refreshing, flavour-wise then. The overall experience is just quintessential German beer. It starts off a bit grainy and sweet, you get a bit of a high point with some brighter notes from the hops, and then it flows out into just this nice, refreshing, bit of a sweet aftertaste thing. But when you start to pick it apart, that does get all just a bit better and a bit more interesting. And to do that, we're going to have to do a proper top to bottom taste test. So, on the tip of the tongue, bready, biscuity, and just a hint of that quality mineral water. It is something I go on about endlessly in German beer, and this is no different. You can taste just the freshness, the quality of the water that has gone into it. Then over the mid palate, the hops start to take over a bit. It's definitely outdoorsy. German hops in particular, or at least the way that they use them, come across to me, is very meadow fresh. It's freshly cut grass, a few bits of wildflower, but nothing really taking over your senses. It's distinct, it's there, it is unquestionably flavourful, but it just is a peppering, it's a spice, it's a seasoning is the word I'm looking for there. It's a seasoning to the rest of the beer, which is how I prefer my hop usage personally. Everyone knows, who's been following me for a while, I'm not the biggest IPA fan because, well, hop soup just doesn't really do it for me most of the time. There are, of course, exceptions. This is straight down the line for what I want. It's just a tip of the hat. Yes, we've used the hops, you can taste it, it's there, they're fresh, they're fully in effect, but it doesn't prevent you from tasting anything else, if that makes sense. It is there and beautiful, back of the tongue. Nice sharp bit of bitterness coming through, and it gives way to some more just, it's not biscuity, slightly more bready, slightly more, I guess, rustic cereal notes from the grain. It's just grainy, really, until the aftertaste. which leaves you very refreshed and almost just serves as a recap. Sweet malt, we're definitely into bready, proper doughy, almost pretzel-y kind of texture now, and the hop comes back in. Again, as quiet as it was before, it's there, it's distinct, but it's not overwhelming, and it is just, well, the most refreshing beer I think I've ever had, and yeah, I love it as a result. Those are the reasons that I think this bottle of Tegernsee Hell could be the best beer in the world. But I would like to know what you think. Have you tried it or any of its siblings? I'll be honest, I've tried almost all of the rest of their range of beers now that you can get in the UK anyway, since having this because I loved it so much. I didn't love any of the others anywhere near. It's this in particular, the Tegernsee Hell, that really does it for me, and yeah, I just think it's an absolute stunner. So let me know in the comments if you've had this or if you think there's a better German lager out there. I keep trying to find one, but so far quite a lot have come close, but none of them, for that proper refreshing Helles, comes close to this one for me. And that really is all I've got to say about what may be the best beer in the world. So thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. If you haven't already, subscribe if you'll be so kind. And I'll catch you next time. Cheers.